On today's episode of Dadburg, sourdough bagels. Organic, all-purpose flour. This is like a local honey from Tarpon Springs, Florida. And it basically looks like a big cookie dough ball. I poke it right through the middle, like this. Here. And we're gonna go with the top.
Ooh, they look good too.
Oh man, hot. So if you found the last video about sourdough still too complicated, I've got an even easier one. And this was requested specifically in the comments. Sourdough bagels are done in 4 easy steps. Step 1, mix all your ingredients together in the mixer bowl. Let the mixer run for 5 minutes. Step 2, bulk rise for 8 to 10 hours, whatever it takes to double the dough. Step 3, form your bagels and put them in the fridge overnight to cold ferment. Step 4, in the morning, you boil them and you bake them. That's it. It's probably the easiest sourdough recipe you could possibly make, and it has impact because nobody expects you to show up with fresh, boiled and baked sourdough bagels. The timing is also really easy, especially if you're busy, you got kids, you basically have just a couple of touch points. It's much easier than a sourdough boule where you have to stretch and fold and go through all the steps. This is super, super easy. Who doesn't love a bagel? I love a bagel. Something about bagels, like the chewy with that slight crunchy, perfect with butter, cream cheese, make a sandwich out of them, dip them in hummus. If there was a near perfect bread, for me, it's probably the bagel. You know, it's the bagel. So here we go. Let's make a batch of sourdough bagels. Now this is super easy for bagels. Different than a sourdough boule or loaf, you don't have to start with a couple of things and wait 30 minutes and stretch and fold and wait and add other stuff, salt later. You just throw it all in the bowl of your mixer. You kick on your mixer for about 5, 6, 7 minutes till it looks incorporated and kind of maybe shiny and smooth on the outside, and that's it. It's way, way easier than a boule. I wish I would have started here in my sourdough journey, but I started with boules and had a lot of weird flat failures until I finally figured it out. Now bagels are very forgiving, so if you're new to sourdough and you've just developed a starter for a couple of weeks, you're ready to go, or somebody gave you a starter and you're super excited, what I would recommend is maybe start with bagels because they're easy. Here's what we have. 500 grams of organic all-purpose flour. You could use a bread flour, just keep it organic. 10 grams of salt, 40 grams of honey. This is like a local honey. If you can use local, use local. And 100 grams of starter. So my starter in my last video I mentioned, I feed a 1:1:1 ratio, meaning you start with 50 grams of starter, you add 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of water, you wait 6 hours, or 4, maybe it goes faster. Recently I've moved to a 1:2:2, meaning I dump a lot more starter discard, or I save it, and then I do 25 grams of starter, 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of water, and let that go for about 6 hours, sometimes 8. The reason for a 1:2:2 ratio, 25, 50, 50, is because it slows down the fermentation of your starter and it gives you a little more time to get your act together to get ready to bake. Either one should work totally fine, but I found lately the 1:2:2 is working a little bit better for me. So try them both. Let me know in the comments, which do you prefer? 1:1:1, 1:2:2, or something entirely different? All right, let's get mixing. So first, we're gonna do 100 grams of our starter. I've zeroed out my scale, and I'm just going to put most of this, because my new ratio, I will only be left with about 25 grams of starter in this jar. You know, close to 100's totally fine. All right, starter. Next, water. It is 255 grams of water. I warm it slightly in a tea kettle. You wanna warm it maybe to 85 or 90 degrees. You don't want like scalding hot boiling water. It'll basically kill your starter. So it's a little more than a cup. Please always measure. I pre-measured this, 255 grams. Next, 40 grams of honey. 36. I thought I had it. I thought I had it the first shot. Like, that's always a quick test. We're going 1 gram at a time now. Okay, great. 40 grams of honey and 10 grams of salt. Okay, now I'm gonna mix that up. Before I add my flour, I like to kind of mix it up, break up the starter. Just gives me a sense that it's incorporating a little bit better. And already that starter plus the honey, I mean, the smell is so good. It smells like a traditional New York bagel. It's awesome. All right, we're done with that. Do not put this fork in the sink. Do not wash it in the sink. You need to wipe this off with a paper towel and throw that away, because this starter that's on this fork will clog up your drains. It will harden to concrete, and you will have a massive plumbing problem. So don't forget, wipe this off with a paper towel, throw it in the trash, but you do not ever put starter into your sink or down your drains. Okay, 500 grams of flour. And as I've used before, this is the Kirkland Organic All-Purpose Flour. It's 11.5% protein, so it's like almost like a bread flour, but for the cost, 16 bucks for 20 pounds of this stuff, you really can't beat it. It's a really great flour. So into the mixer. I've got the dough hook on here. If you don't have a mixer, feel free to buy one. They're super expensive. Or check out my video. People sell them cheap all the time on Facebook Marketplace. I found one pretty broken. Was able to fix it up for about $7. You can find them $50 to $100 used on Facebook Marketplace. They are built like a tank. They've been built the same way for like 100 years, maybe 80, 70 years, I don't know. They're very easy to fix up. So, fix a mixer, watch my other video. If you like what you're seeing with this, please watch my other sourdough video. Like, subscribe. I got a lot of fun content coming. If you want to see something else, make English muffins or pizza dough, please drop it in the comments and I'd be happy to make my next video on sourdough on whatever topic or recipe you would like. We're gonna let this go for about 6 or 7 minutes till we really see it well incorporated. So let's kick it on. Okay, so now we're at about 6.5 minutes. And it's looking smooth. I cranked it up to 2 once it was incorporated. And we're gonna stop it, lift it up and see. That's a nice ball of dough. So this I would call done. It's kind of smooth. It's not sticky at all. I mean, it just pulls itself right off of here. You can pull it out, your bowl is mostly clean. And it basically looks like a big cookie dough ball. I mean, it's got like a few lumps in there, but it's totally perfect. So now, I'm gonna take a bowl, toss it in a glass bowl so I can watch it rise. We're gonna cover it and leave it for about 8 hours until it doubles in size. So, one thing, you wanna cover it. You can of course use plastic wrap. I try to minimize how much plastic wrap I use. I love these little like covers, these beeswax covers, little elastic. I'll put a link in the description. These were a gift and I absolutely love them. They do wear out over time, so maybe you have to like re-wax them or just buy another set or something. I'm not sure. I'm just starting to get like a little, you know, less waxy. Anyway, that's what it looks like. We'll set this aside for about 8 hours. You want it like decently warm. If it's even colder, it'll take longer, but that's okay. After 8 hours, we'll jump into the next step, which is going to be to form the bagels. This is a batch I made this morning. I actually made a batch and a half because I had 150 grams of starter. I didn't want to discard, so I just plussed up my ingredients by another 50%. I'll probably get about 10 bagels out of this batch here. If you're making a regular batch with the recipe that I shared just before, you may get 6 to 8 bagels, depending on the weight or the size that you like them, anywhere between 120 and 140 grams. Now, how long does it take me to form 10 bagels? I'm gonna time it. Usually it takes me about a minute per bagel. You're gonna take your dough. Ah, smells good. And you're gonna dump it out onto a clean counter. Now, I don't use any flour. With bagels, it's not sticky. It'll actually come out really pretty easily. It's not a high hydration dough, like a boule or like a pizza dough. Those have a lot of water. And so those tend to be a little stickier at this point. This bagel dough, I mean, that bowl is nearly clean. What I'm gonna do is start cutting segments out. How do you eyeball 140 grams? I have no idea. What I should probably do here is just start dividing the dough into sections that I can work with. So there I cut it into 2. the metal bench scraper. You don't have to use one of these, but this thing's pretty nice. I don't think it was expensive. It's like an OXO one with like the rubberized handle. And this is about the only thing I use it for. I'm always afraid to use like metal on the counter to really scrape at stuff. So this is what I use it for cutting my bagels. Okay, first cut, 125. So I'm gonna add like another little segment here, and we're at 135. Perfect. I set it aside, okay? So I'll come back to that in just a minute. Second one, 125. Boy, that was cool. I'm at 137 on that one. Try again. 107, too low. So just keep adding little bits. Like if it's not quite enough, and it'll form fine. You know, it'd be great to hit it in one big piece, but if you can't, it's no big deal. So there's 140. Okay, next one, I think this will make him 2. That may be 140 right there. 131, 126. I'll add like another little chunk. 133, that's good enough. So you can see here, I got 5 little dough balls out of the half that I cut, and I just eyeballed that half. So this one, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's our 10. From here, what we're gonna do is take one of these and I kind of pull the edges, and you're kind of making like a little dough ball, almost as if you're like making a little dumpling. And then what I'm gonna do is just use my hand and I pull just like I did with the sourdough boule. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out, because it shows a lot better demonstration of how you do that for a big old loaf of sourdough bread. But these, you end up with a nice tiny little ball like that. And you can see the contrast versus just our lump of 140 grams of bagel dough. Very quickly we get these little balls. So I will poke a hole in that, actually form the bagel soon, but I'm just gonna finish out the rest of these, making these into 10 little dough balls, future bagels. Okay. So what we do now is we've got a cookie sheet with some parchment. You don't have to flour it. You know, maybe you do a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna add a little flour. It just makes it easier tomorrow when you pull them off to boil them, they don't stick as much. So let me grab some flour. And we're just gonna sprinkle a little flour on here. You don't need much. No chance I'm measuring, just dump some flour on there. What I use is a very sophisticated sourdough bagel tool. It's specialized. It's only found in special sourdough stores, and it's called a chopstick. So I've got this old chopstick, and what I do is I take my dough ball, 140 grams, I poke it right through the middle, I wiggle it, then I grab it, and I just work it like this, round and round and round and round, stretch it out a little bit until we have something that resembles a bagel. There's another way to roll out like a pretzel and to, you know, fold it over, roll it out. I don't know, there's a whole thing. But I found this process for me just kind of like, you know, it's like playing with Play-Doh or something. It has a lot of tension. You're not gonna hurt these things, so I just drop them on here. So here are the bagels out of the fridge, ready to boil. I've got my water boiling on the stove over there. Put a tablespoon of sugar. I actually had like a little bit, maybe a tablespoon and a half. We're gonna drop in our bagels carefully. I like to boil the top down first. So peel these off carefully. Drop them in. And these are bigger bagels, so I think I can fit 3 at a time. If you have smaller bagels, you might be able to fit 4, but I'll just do 3 at a time. We'll set a timer for 2 minutes. Little bit of a tricky part to flip these because they've blown up a little bit, so you have to be careful. I tend to kind of push on the bottom and flop them that way. Push down on one side so that they flip. Then you set your timer for 2 more minutes. So while those are boiling, you want to preheat your oven to 425. So as I'm pulling these out, I'm actually going to put them right back on the pan they came from. Totally fine, there's a little flour or something left. You can see how poofy they got. They really poofed up nicely, and it's going to be a little tighter to fit because of that poof factor. We're going to put these here, and they will deflate just a little bit as they're sitting here waiting for their friends to boil. And then right away, you want to put in your next set. So remember, 2 minutes each side. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So our first pan of bagels is ready to go in. So we're gonna pop them in the oven. 25 minutes, we'll rotate them once, halfway through. So let's get these in and start our timer. I've still got my second tray boiling, so we'll set 2 timers. This one will go for 25. Again, I'll flip it about halfway through. Just rotate the pan. I might switch it to a different rack. These are currently in the middle, top, bottom. I don't know. Know your own oven. You know, for me, that middle's pretty good. The bottom tends to burn a little bit on the top. I don't know why. So just quickly, you can see the ones that just came out boiled, number 1, number 2, versus where they were pre-boiled. They grow significantly, like maybe 50%. They get much, much bigger. Now, I didn't add any seasoning, everything seasoning. You can put whatever you want on top. I didn't do it for this batch. I like them plain, and then you can always add cream cheese and some of the everything spice, that everything seasoning stuff from Trader Joe's. I mean, this stuff. Oh, this one's from Aldi, my other favorite store. So this one is awesome. So you don't have to like waste a whole batch making everything seasoning and everything taste like garlic. You can make them plain, put the cream cheese on, sprinkle on the everything seasoning, you basically have an everything bagel. So when they come straight out of that boiling water, there's a bunch of moisture on the top. Anything you sprinkle on, whether you want to do everything bagel seasoning, you want to do cinnamon and sugar like Panera bread style, you do that when it's done boiling before it goes in the oven, because it'll stick right on there. You bake it and it's on there, and those are delicious too. Second set is ready to go in. So I'm gonna go in here, and actually it's been just over 10 minutes. So I'm gonna rotate these. Oh, they're looking good. If you can see in there, they're looking really good. So I'm gonna rotate these, give them just that 180. We're gonna take the other set here, and we're gonna go for the top. So there we go, we got them both in. So we're gonna go 13.5 minutes, and now I'll set a separate timer for 25 minutes on the second set. Here they are. They look fantastic. You have like a toasty golden brown color at the top, nice poofed up. They look awesome. So we're gonna set those here to cool for a little bit, leave these guys in for another 4.5 minutes. Now here's the bagels that just came out, and if you listen closely, you can actually hear like a little crackle sound. So here's our second set coming out. Ooh, they look good too. Okay, nice golden crispy crust. We're gonna put those here. So now we're gonna move them onto a cooling rack, and we're gonna let them fully cool. This is one of those times you see this delicious looking homemade sourdough bagel you've been working on for 2 days, and you wanna eat it right away. But they are really best if you let them fully cool, then you cut them easily, then you pop it in the toaster, okay? I know you're gonna go ahead and eat it hot anyway. Oh man, hot. You're gonna tear a piece off of this, you're gonna dip it into something delicious like some hummus or some cream cheese, and you're gonna absolutely love it. But the whole thing, with the honey, crispy, the chewy, perfect. But I strongly recommend that you let them cool. Yeah, let it cool. That's hot. Definitely, let that cool. Please. Do yourself a favor, wait just a few minutes, let them cool down before you cut them. I mean, these bagels are like, they don't even need like a cream cheese. They're like so delicious, and the honey, and I let it cool. And yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks for watching.